Real Madrid have changed managers, completely changed the way they're building this squad, and created a team that should have every club in Europe worried. And somehow, they've done it faster than anyone expected. If you're as fascinated by what Real Madrid are putting together as I am, consider subscribing Football Clave, because I'll be following every major twist in this transfer window as Florentino Perez begins his new term. There was a reason Real Madrid handed the keys to Jose Mourinho. After ending Xabi Alonso's spell in charge, the club turned to a manager whose career has been defined by one thing: winning quickly. He earned the nickname the Special One after leading Porto to Champions League glory in 2004. He then showed it was no fluke by winning Europe's biggest trophy again with Inter Milan, becoming one of the few managers ever to win the competition with two different clubs. Most managers ask for time to build a winning team, but Jose Mourinho operates on a completely different clock. While rival managers are begging for time, Mourinho's teams historically blitz the league from day one. Look at the historical data. Across his first 20 league matches at Porto, Chelsea, Inter, and Real Madrid, Mourinho averaged 2.38 points per game. Mourinho has built his reputation on delivering results without waiting years for a project to come together. And judging by everything Real Madrid have done since his arrival, that same urgency is shaping every decision they're making this summer. Marc Cucurella arrived from Chelsea on a 6-year deal, bringing World Cup winning experience to Madrid's backline. Bernardo Silva followed as a free transfer after leaving Manchester City, signing his first La Liga contract at 31. Madrid also brought in Ibrahima Konate to add stability to a defense that has looked vulnerable in key moments, and replacing Dani Carvajal with Denzel Dumfries at right back. And there's a reason Real Madrid wanted Dumfries. Against Barcelona in the 2025 Champions League semi-final, he delivered a performance for the history books: 2 goals and an assist in the first leg at Montjuic, followed by 2 more assists at San Siro to send Inter into the final. 5 goal contributions across a single semi-final tie. He became just the 4th player in Champions League history to reach that mark. That's the kind of player Real Madrid believe can completely transform their right flank. But that was only the beginning. The signing that turned this into the summer's biggest transfer battle was still to come. 19-year-old Ivorian winger Yan Diomande, finishing his breakthrough Bundesliga season with 12 goals and 8 assists. Suddenly, half of Europe wanted him. PSG were considered the frontrunners, while Liverpool and Arsenal were both in the race. Leipzig made it clear they had no intention of selling, but Real Madrid didn't back away. Their opening bid was rejected, but they came back with a better offer and eventually sealed the deal, signing Yan Diomande until 2031. Rodrigo's long-term injury left Madrid short of options. With Vinicius Jr.'s future still uncertain, they needed another direct, explosive winger. And despite fierce competition from Europe's biggest clubs, Real Madrid walked away with exactly the player they wanted. But this is where Real Madrid's plan becomes impossible to ignore. This isn't a club chasing the biggest names and hoping everything falls into place. It's a squad being rebuilt with a clear plan. Cucurella strengthens the left side. Dumfries brings a completely different threat at right back. Konate adds security to the heart of the defense. Bernardo Silva offers the control and experience that have been missing in midfield. Every arrival answers a specific problem instead of simply adding another headline. The changes haven't only come through new signings either. Dani Ceballos has departed after 9 years at the club, while Endrick's return creates even more competition in attack. That's what makes this summer feel different. But every tactical fix creates a trade-off on the pitch. Adding Bernardo Silva gives Real Madrid elite midfield control, but it threatens to destroy Jude Bellingham's greatest offensive weapon. Last season, the vast majority of Jude Bellingham's non-penalty goals came from late, unstructured runs crashing directly into the central penalty arch. Bernardo Silva operates on a completely different tactical map, ranking in the top 1% globally for passes into zone 14, the central zone right outside the 18-yard box. Bernardo doesn't crash the box, he camps on the edge of it to dictate tempo. Stacking both creators in the central channel doesn't double your attacking threat. It clogs the exact space Bellingham needs to attack. If neither player adapts their movement, Madrid risks turning their 2 most creative stars into space-hogging teammates who get in each other's way. Now imagine all of these players on the pitch together. A defense strengthened by elite attacking fullbacks, and a center back who already knows what it takes to win at the highest level. A midfield that could soon be built around Rodri, with Bernardo Silva dictating the tempo while Jude Bellingham and Federico Valverde attack the spaces around him. And ahead of them, Vinicius Jr., Kylian Mbappe, and Yan Diomande backed by a team capable of controlling matches instead of chasing them. That's the biggest difference. For years, Real Madrid had the firepower to hurt anyone, but they could still lose control in the middle of the park. The best organized teams exposed that weakness whenever the tempo shifted against them. This summer wasn't about assembling the most glamorous squad. It was about removing the flaws that kept holding them back. And if Mourinho succeeds in putting all of these pieces together, Europe won't just be facing another talented Real Madrid side. They'll be facing one with far far fewer weaknesses to exploit. But the real problem starts the second Real Madrid lose the ball. Pairing Mbappe with Vinicius Jr. sounds like an unstoppable FIFA draft, until you look at what happens the exact second Real Madrid lose possession. Tactical tracking data from Europe's top 5 leagues reveals a major problem. Kylian Mbappe consistently ranks in the bottom 1% of all forwards globally for defensive pressure actions per 90 minutes. He doesn't track back, and he rarely closes down passing lanes. When you pair him with Vinicius Jr., Madrid's front line offers less than 8 defensive pressures per match combined. That means whenever opposition defenders build out from the back, Madrid's midfield isn't just defending, they're forced to sprint double distance to cover open grass. And that extra pressure falls directly on the midfield, which triggers another problem Real Madrid can't afford to ignore. On paper, pairing Denzel Dumfries with Marc Cucurella gives Madrid unbelievable attacking width. In reality, it creates a massive structural risk during defensive transitions. Last season, Dumfries ranked in the top 5% of European fullbacks for touches inside the opposition penalty box. He isn't just a fullback, he acts as a winger. When both Dumfries and Cucurella push high into the final third, Real Madrid's entire defensive balance relies on their 2 center backs and a single holding midfielder to cover over 50 yards of open grass. Even if Rodri arrives, expecting him alone to shift across and cover those vacant spaces before an opposition counterattack strikes is a massive gamble. Without perfect discipline, even Ibrahima Konate's recovery speed won't save them, which raises the real question: how does Jose Mourinho solve this 50-yard trap before Europe's fastest counter-attacking sides attack those areas? Barcelona have held the upper hand in recent Clásicos with Real Madrid, and Madrid know new signings alone won't change that. Their biggest rivals have continued strengthening every summer as well. The real difference is what this new foundation could unlock. With Cucurella, Dumfries, Konate, and potentially Rodri, Madrid would finally have the defensive balance they've been missing. That gives players like Mbappe, Vinicius Jr., and Bellingham the freedom to do what they do best instead of covering for the team's weaknesses. That's a front line already capable of breaking down any defense in world football. Now imagine them playing with that extra freedom from the very first whistle. The next Clasico between these two giants won't simply be another chapter in their rivalry. It could be the first real test of whether this new Real Madrid has finally done enough to shift the balance of power back in their favor. But Real Madrid aren't the only ones playing with fire on the pitch. The entire football world completely misread Europe's most unpredictable superstar. While top academies wrote off Michael Olise as an uncoachable rebel, Thierry Henry issued a massive warning about his true potential that almost everyone ignored. Click right here to see the blueprint the internet completely missed, and subscribe to Football Clave for more breakdowns.